Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And we are back on October the 25th on Tuesday around noon, the usual time I like to start my streams. And today is a bit of a different stream. I'm actually working on some backgrounds. For those of you who tuned into my last stream, as you know, I'm working on my animation, my teaser trailer, and now I'm just at the stage where there's still a little bit of animation I need to do, but for the most part, I'm just working on my backgrounds and other layer objects. So today's stream, I open Photoshop. I rarely draw on stream. Mainly what I like to do is I just like to animate, but sometimes I have to draw too. Sometimes I have to get some art done. And I am working on the sort of, not the city center, I'm working on like the city view. So what I did was when I was working on this in Adobe Animate, I had taken a screenshot. Adobe Animate actually lets you export PNGs or other or JPEGs even of certain scenes so that you can have that image and later on you can go back and do whatever you need to do with it. So in this instance, I took a screenshot of the rough that I had drawn up like a few months ago because again this is a long project and I was still in college by the time I started it. But I digress. I took a screenshot of this scene. I then went into Photoshop. I set the size to, I think it was 1920 by, no, it was 1080 by like 1928. So this is the size of my background. I sized it in a good size, at least I think so. And now I'm just working on the different details. This was a rough. It wasn't a finite finished product. But I think this is a good scene. And I can go into, what I did and how it's going so far. So I started drawing this last night. I wanted to get a rough done so then later I could draw more detail. So in animation, some animators draw their own backgrounds. Other animators actually like to outsource it and they'll have another position sort of fill that area and work on the backgrounds for the project. But let me just go into further detail. Some animators actually like to separate their backgrounds into different layers. So things like shrubs, trees, buildings in the background, buildings in the foreground, those will show up on separate layers, and some of them even go as far as to export these objects as separate layers. So then in their compositing software, usually After Effects, they will have certain objects appear above certain segments of animation and certain objects appear below certain pieces of animation just to really sell depth and to sell that sense of dimension. I know when I first started, this actually wasn't a thing I knew, and I never got to learn how to do this. So I really just saw this in I think it was like a YouTube video or some sort of tutorial I watched on YouTube. I saw the animator. It's been so long I forgot his name. But like I saw the animator, he had a tutorial on Adobe Animate and he had the different background elements showing up on different layers. And it really helped his project. It helped with selling the idea of distance and movement. So that's what I chose to do. That's what I started doing. So right now I'm just drawing some shrubs, some plants. I'm actually thinking that maybe at least later on I could definitely try and draw some, mystical or magical plants because this is a show that does have magic. And sadly, I didn't really think about this in the inception, but it would be nice to sort of have subtle nods and subtle references to this being a fantasy product. I kind of, it was really an in the moment thing, and I didn't really think about it, but I just wanted to um, sort of get this project done, which, yes, that does sound as bad as it sounds. Like, and this project is actually my pride and joy. Like, I love working on this project. I love committing my time and energy to this. So I guess I really should be spending more time with this. Not that I'm not spending time with this, like, if I'm being completely honest, I spend long hours on this project. Whenever I'm not actually drawing for it, I'm actually usually just whenever I'm not drawing for it, I'm usually just like writing more lore or writing more character story and brainstorming with character ideas. Like this project is just a lot to do on your own. I love it. I kind of have to work on this project, but doing this project, it is a lot. And I always knew that this project was going to be a lot. Like, I do think that this is a learning process on top of just growing my skills. So while I work on this, I guess I could talk about my love for architecture. Like, keep in mind, I'm not an architect, but one of my favorite games is really Cyberpunk 2077. Like, honestly, being completely honest, I was playing some Cyberpunk before I even started this stream. Like, not like this stream was put together last minute. I already had everything set up and prepared for my stream, but like, sometimes I like to wind down or get into a proper headspace. So like I'll boot up some Cyberpunk and play for like a few minutes. And so my love for my love for architecture is really just I'm a city guy. Like I actually live in the suburbs, but I love the idea of like having buildings around me. Like I just love human ingenuity and I just like buildings. It's sort of that sense of I don't know, like a normal life, I guess you could say. Like I personally attribute cities with normalcy to an extent. So to be in a city and to be around buildings, I just love it and I like it. And I do think that not only has my love for cities subconsciously affected my art, but I do also think that what what a metropolis represents is also a good engine and a good sort of storytelling setting for this particular show. Because we as humans, we went from small townships and settlements to big, sprawling cities with tall buildings. Like cities represent growth and change and development. And so to have this show, which is already a show about with themes about human potential and hope, to have the main story set in a city which is its own entire world can be impactful and can draw viewers in. Again, these are really roughs. I just drew them to sort of get a general idea and plan of what I wanted to draw and do. But I think this is coming along really nicely, at least for a nice beginning. This would be really nice. Um, Next, I do want to get this bench done. Actually, one of the first things that I learned in college in my figure drawing course is how to draw chairs. So it's kind of nice that the concepts and the things I learned are starting to come back to me again full circle. It's kind of ironic, but it's also kind of fun as well. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I finished the bench. I finished some trees. I'll go back over and I'll add some more details because this is going to be something that is more close up. It's not going to be far away like scene two. I do, in fact, have to be a bit more detailed in how I present the objects that I'm drawing. Usually in art and animation, for those of you who may or may not know, it usually takes a lot of time to draw certain objects in certain settings because you have to gauge, okay, how far away is the camera, how close is it going to be, and you can actually um, one of the advantages of After Effects actually is that you can sort of use different effects and settings to blur certain objects and areas. Also, speaking of After Effects, I am really glad because like literally after my stream on Friday, like a couple hours later, no, it wasn't a couple hours later. It was like I think Saturday or Sunday was when the new um updates dropped for like a lot of it. Like Photoshop got an update, Animate got an update, Premiere Pro and After Effects got updates as well. So it was really a almost sort of like a fresh start for me, so to speak. So of course I do have to update my files. I'm gonna have to open my teaser trailer in the new Adobe Animate, get it up to date. Then I'll see if I can finally transfer my Flash file over to After Effects uh, and properly composite my scenes. I still don't know what I'm gonna do because there has yet to be a function where you can, as far as I know at least, there is yet to be a function where you can separate the scenes from Adobe Flash into scenes in After Effects. Like I haven't discovered anything like that. I'm pretty sure it exists. I just haven't found it yet, and I haven't done enough research on it. If you guys find out anything or know anything, by all means, please tell me. Because I would like to get this done in as good a quality as possible. Because you guys have stuck to my streams. Like my streams are steadily growing, and I just want to tell you guys thank you. Thank you so much. Like with every view I get, not just like, but with every view I get, I get happier and happier because that tells me that there are people who like and enjoy my stuff. So I do want to take this moment to say thank you everyone who's watched me thus far. And even if you haven't been watching me for a while and you just tuned in, I do want to tell you thank you. Thank you so much. But where was I? Oh yeah, I need to. I'm sorry. I'm just really happy, and I almost lost myself. Um, but I need to update my files for Animate, and then I need to. There's something else I need to do. Composite my footage in After Effects. Then after I do that, I can. Then after I do that, I can just put all my sounds together in Premiere Pro and update my teaser trailer. Also, while I was working on one of my other projects, the so for those of you who visit my art station from time to time, I was working on a digital painting of like this hologram AI. I was listening to music from Cyberpunk, and that sort of inspired me to make another piece of art. But I digress. I was looking at, I was trying to draw like a city in the background, and I ended up looking at sample images of like cities at night. And so, learning from that previous piece I did, I now have a more effective way, or at least I think it's going to be a more effective way, in me drawing my buildings. So I do want to explore that later on in the stream if I do get enough detail down to explore and draw and experiment with me drawing buildings. Like I said, and I think I've said this in previous videos and previous streams, but there is no such thing as the perfect artist. There's just constant improvement and constant growth. So, like, hopefully, I'm not even going to say hopefully. So, as you continue to draw, because this is an assured thing that I believe, as you continue to draw, you will get better. And what I just experienced and what I just experimented with shows that since working on my previous project, I do want to explore, get better, and I've sort of learned things or picked up on things from my previous projects. That's always something fun and nice to learn and discover, is that as you continue to work, as you continue to do what you love and love what you do, you will grow from it and you will get better with it. I still need to work on my patience because I kind of hate having to be patient for work and be patient for a job. But like even that, I know it's coming. I'm kind of scared, but I know something is coming. Wow, I just noticed how many buildings I'm drawing. Oh, hello, new person that has joined. How are you today? I'm just working on some backgrounds for my animation. So right now, I'm just roughing everything out, and later on, I'm going to go back in and add more detail. For starters, I'm trying to add some more depth to this project. So for now, I'm just roughing things out. Then I'm going to go back through after I've roughed everything out and add more detail. This is the artistic process. So let's see. That is a new blank layer. So for starters, I can take I'm actually gonna go back and hide some of these layers just so they don't mess with how I'm drawing and doing this. Hmm. Actually, now that I'm drawing this out, I may end up having to draw these sort of flying islands on a new file or a completely new layer because this may end up taking me not a while, but like, how do I verbalize what I'm trying to say? When it comes to my post production phase, when I'm putting this all together, I'm gonna have to have sort of small slight animations for these different objects in the background. Like they're gonna be floating, if only slightly, they are gonna be floating up and down. And I also have some like free floating buildings as well. I'm neither here nor there. But with that, if I do have small and slight animations, because I'm drawing them to where they're cut off right here, then there's just going to be a gap of space where color or the rest of the object should be. Just something I have to account for and be careful with. Dang, I was supposed to be drawing this on a different layer. So I'm going to erase this just real quick. Going to add a new layer. Select this. Then use my brush tool to sketch this in. This is just a pretty chill stream where I'm chilling out and enjoying myself, if only slightly. I'd really just want to take my time with this, not spend too much time. Well, not spend too much time. Just not feel overwhelmed. Not much really happens in my streams, and that's because I'm not really much of a high strung or high maintenance person. I just try to make stuff that I think people will enjoy. And if they come tune in for a few minutes, then that's good. If they don't, that's okay too. It's honestly the art that's the most important to me. Like, I love spending just hours drawing and working on this. Like, it's very fun and it's very nice to have something you're passionate about and to work on it because honestly, what they say is true when you're in school. Like, find something you love doing because work's not going to feel like work if you do. I actually don't know what demographic my audience is. Actually, no, wait. I think I was like looking at my analytics and like 31 to 45-year-olds left my videos, which is kind of awesome. Like, I try to make videos essentially for everyone. My animations, I try to make my animations at least something that is for mainly young adults, but if older adults like it, then by all means. I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. If people love my work, then I must be doing something right. So, why does this world have floating islands? Well, this is New York in the year like 2100. I haven't really set up a concrete timeline yet. Just know that in the year 2000, there was an apocalyptic event. Magic returned to the world. And so when Magic came back, many locations, landscapes, and plants and animals sort of became supercharged in Magic. So with New York, what happened in New York is they received many floating islands to where areas like Manhattan, the Bronx, downtown, they've sort of begun to free float in the air, in the sky. So now you have these islands, these mini cities in this greater city. So that's why at least this show is gonna have, you know, buildings that free float in the sky. Which I do think is kind of nice and kind of awesome. It does really sell that um, sort of living metropolis almost. Well, it's already a living metropolis, but it does add sort of more life, I guess you could say. I mean, also, I'm not gonna lie. I do believe that Gravity Rush also inspired me somewhat because Gravity Rush is a nice video game where verticality is a huge theme of the game. And honestly, I do think that I'm at least trying to incorporate a sense of divinity, hope, and verticality in my show because people are quite literally ascending to the heavens, and society has reshaped itself and altered itself to account for this new resource, magic. Like, there are sports that use magic. Sports have also been advanced to account for magic and magical rules. Like, people charge their phones using magic. People charge their cars and drive their cars using magic. Some people, like, don't even need to manually operate most vehicles or most things anymore. They can just, like, cast a spell and something happens for them. Again, I really want a big theme of this show to be hope and potential. And so what has more hope and potential than blending magic and science? Like, there aren't many properties or shows that really blend magic and technology. Like, you may have the one-off scene in, like, a DC show or a Marvel show, but many properties and products, they're usually just, oh, only magic or only science. Even with something like Warhammer, you really only get you have, like, psionics in Warhammer, and you have advanced technology in Warhammer, but as far as magic, not there's not much magic in Warhammer. At least I don't think so. And on properties that try to blend magic and science, they usually try to explain magic away, or they'll just say magic is just science without an explanation. For this project, for this show, I really want to veer away from that mindset that magic is just science unexplained. In the show I'm working on, magic is not unexplained science. Magic is a method, or it's a perception of reality. And it's how people change the world to make their mark. Which is why in this show you're going to see ministers and priests and clerics, but you're also going to be seeing, witches or sorcerers or arcanists. And they're all people using magic. Even, like, religious people in this world use magic. It's not like, now obviously there is going to be, like, some subtextual storytelling, like the older generation not liking magic or thinking that it's, like, demonic or evil, and that can be, like, its own sort of subplot story. But for the most part, everyone is using magic because it's just a new way of life, a new way of living. And so with this show, what I want to veer away from is saying everything that isn't a machine is magic. That's not really what I want to sell or what I want to profess, because it would be kind of, if I were to do that, then it would just excuse me to have anything or justify anything, which is not something I want to do, because that can lead to weak storytelling, or storytelling that over relies on retcons, and I don't really want to use retcons. Like, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm not gonna be afraid to hurt some of my main characters. Main characters are gonna die. People are gonna get hurt. Like, the entire environment will get hurt. There are gonna be characters that you meet who can and will be put out of commission for the sake of the show, because it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be entertaining. And then all the things I can do with animation in this show as well. Like showing something, projecting something, giving people the chance to really visualize and see this world. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome. And honestly, I do really think I'm gonna love working on this project and continuing to work on this project after the teaser trailer. Because honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The teaser trailer is just a taste. The teaser trailer that I'm working on is to tease you, to get people coming in and saying, you know what, this looks like a good project. This looks like a good idea. I want to work on this. Sign me up to work on this. Or let's back this dude and let's help him make this an actual show. This is gonna look good and be good. Honestly, I'm gonna be excited. I'm gonna be really excited to work on this and see where this goes. Okay, this floating island, I'm gonna have it appear more in the foreground. Mm, I am gonna have to be careful with it because I don't want it to be too big or too close. I'm definitely gonna have to have some of these buildings that I worked on, like in this area over here. It's definitely gonna have to be on the layer above this island in particular. But I do think that to cell depth and to cell dimension, I definitely want to have one of the floating islands be a bit closer. Like that would be something nice to see and nice to have. Let's see what else. And I could have some like free floating buildings behind or around these as well. I'll put them on another separate layer. Uh-oh. Didn't mean to add that vector mask. So why do floating buildings by themselves exist? So essentially it's two things. One, after the floating islands levitated, there were also some other chunks of earth and rock that started floating in proximity to these massive floating islands. So, what people decided to do is they decided to put buildings atop these separate floating rocks, and these are usually, I wouldn't really say corporate buildings, but they're more so like private companies that it's actually fairly expensive to have a building that is on its sort of own piece of land separate because it doesn't really, there's sort of like limits on the amount of magic that can be used or else it may like fall or other fluctuations might happen, so people have to be careful. That's gonna be like the in universe reason, but like out of universe reason, I just think it's cool. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you guys or try to lie. I just think that having some free floating buildings on their own would be kind of cool. Okay. Oh yeah, real quick. Since I love since I love cyberpunk so much, there's actually this new channel that came out. I have to find them. They are dang. Where are they? Okay, so I am a fan of tabletop role playing games. Like I play D&D. Um, I love Vampire the Masquerade, and I also love Cyberpunk. And so I was on Twitter one time. I think I was like searching something cyberpunk in Twitter when I found this YouTube channel that was that had like a stream set up for Cyberpunk Red. And I had to check them out. And it's a really good crew and I really like watching them. I'm definitely gonna tune in for their second episode. I just need to find the name of their channel so I can tell you guys. Oh, I don't know. They are called. Okay, I finally found them. Their YouTube channel is called Infinite Sided Die. I'm pretty sure they stream on Twitch as well, but I don't really go on Twitch that often. But they are a good crew. The first episode for their first session has 2.2 thousand views, which is pretty awesome. It is Welcome to Night City, episode 1. Their game is called Cyberpunk Edge of Extinction. I don't want to spoil too much, but even in their first episode, it really does like ramp up and set up a lot of things. And it's nice to listen to. They really managed to capture the sense and the sort of aura or atmosphere of cyberpunk. They're an awesome group to watch and listen to. I'm definitely gonna be tuning in. I might even like boot up Twitch, and I rarely go on Twitch. I might even like boot up Twitch and watch them from time to time. But yeah, I definitely, if you love tabletop role playing games, definitely give them a listen to. And of course, like Critical Role is mainstream, and I love D&D. I wasn't really into Critical Role like in the early 2014, 2015. I mainly re-listened to a lot of their stuff because I learned that they were animating their first campaign into actual animated TV show, which I tuned in and I watched, and I also watched their campaign one to sort of get a sense of what's going on. But yeah, I don't just look at Critical Role, but also you should check out other tabletop role playing games and other people who play those kind of role playing games. Check out World of Darkness. Check out Jason Carl and his Vampires Masquerade. Check out Inside It Die for their Cyberpunk series. Check out just do some searching on YouTube. Like there are many small channels that do like other role playing games that are really good that I found myself listening to, loving, and tuning into. Like, this is my unpopular opinion, but the smaller channels are gold, okay? Small channels are golden. And this just isn't me trying to like get views for my stuff, but honestly, real talk, the smaller channels are where it's at. Like like they do the most. They have some of like the craziest stuff going on. And they are also open to feedback and replying to you, and they improve quick. Like smaller channels, they improve quick. Not to say that the bigger channels don't, but there's something nice about watching smaller channels. I love them. Like most of the channels I'm subscribed to either are smaller channels or were smaller channels in the past, and like I just tune in with them from time to time. So right now, I'm just looking at this, and I finished drawing some of these buildings. I do think I definitely want to draw another free floating building. I just don't know if I should like draw it really small behind this island or have like the bottom tip of one appear below in the back right here. Because there is this bit of a white space, and actually I could have no, not no, I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna have like the sun or something pop up, but I quickly changed my mind about that. Like I don't want that would be too much. Like honestly, celestial bodies like suns and moons, I'm gonna be honest, not my strong suit because I usually don't know what to go for when I'm drawing them. Like, do I draw the rays, or can I sort of like draw that in post? I don't know. And wow, we are at 2 likes already. Nice. Thank you guys so much. I almost dropped my pencil. We are about 1 hour in with 2 likes and one person watching. This is a good stream, and I want to thank everyone for staying tuned. And even those of you who didn't catch my stream, but you guys may like to come in later or come in after the stream is done and rewatch it. Thank you so much for making it this far. I'm definitely going to go for a few more minutes. Mm, I might go for an extra 30 or 45 minutes this time, just because I feel like I'm in a good mood. Oh yeah, another thing I want to say real quick before I start adding more detail, and I okay, I've talked about Cyberpunk to death, and I really should be talking more about my own show, but I'll have you guys know that 2077 has some really good music, and it has an amazing soundtrack. They have some banger people, like they have Kill the Messenger, Circus Minimus, Grimes. I mean, yeah, 4 a.m. by Grimes. Other songs as well. Night City by Rel. Reaction. Those are some really good songs. That's some really good music. You should definitely give them a watch. It it's nice to have that sort of white noise while you're working on stuff, and Cyberpunk provides it. That's all I can really say. Anyway, I've talked too much about my love for architecture in cities, so I might as well just start really focusing and hammering home this setting right here, this project. Okay, that's the first building. I'll go back through and I'll put the final line art on it. Now I just need to get the second building done. Okay, that's building two down. So I think for these other buildings, what I'm probably going to end up doing is having them be less and less detailed as they continue to go back and be farther away from the camera's view, to where I want to say these clusters of buildings right here, they're just going to be black or like a really dark color. And then the windows I can color with like yellow or something. Excuse me. I'm getting a bit tired, but I'm all good. Gonna take a small break, enjoy some water. Shit, my water bottle is like leaking water. Excuse me. Yeah, I think this project is coming together, and I think I'm making some pretty good, pretty decent time. I'm definitely liking that as I continue to work on this and as I continue to do more around this project, I am getting better. Sadly, what I am somewhat upset about is the fact that I didn't really there's not a lot of action in this trailer. Like I'm sad that there's not a lot of action because action scenes and doing action scenes, at least from what I've heard, is what helps people find jobs and get employed. Though with this project, I didn't really do that. But there are always, side projects I can do or little things on the side. I might actually work on maybe not a short film, but an animated segment of something. Which, who knows, it may come out good. Mm. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. Cliff bars are pretty good. Like my favorites are dark mint, and then I bought this new flavor called peanut butter banana with dark chocolate. So this tastes really good. I love this. I will say that growing up, I watched a lot of TV. And you can say, oh, that's sad or oh, that's weird. But yeah, I've accepted it. Like, I wasn't like the super weird kid, but I was like the kid in school that watched a lot of TV. And I had like a small circle of friends. And I do think that my interests and what I watched for TV did somewhat shape sort of my career path and what I enjoy. Like, a lot of the shows I watched came from like Europe or like the Far East from Japan. Like, I grew up watching Pokemon, Code Lyoko, I watched Witch. Um, I did also watch like Winx Club every now and again when it came on. I also watched like Puka and other shows on Jetix that, Jetix segment that would happen on Saturdays. And I loved those shows. I also grew up watching the Pokemon movies, like, and that was when like the Pokemon movies were like fairly darker, like the Deoxys movie and Pokemon 2000 and the first Pokemon movie. Like, those were some dark movies for their time. I'm like, yeah, they were made for kids, but they still had some darker themes to them. And so I I bore witness to shows that had overarching stories, or they would like, or their plot would lead to something greater that would be resolved at the end of the season. So that sort of shifted me into watching anime. And the anime I watched, like, now I didn't watch Vampire Knight, but I did watch shows like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto. Dang, I love me some Naruto growing up. I couldn't get into Bleach. I watched One Piece. And so it was after that rabbit hole that I started watching anime online. Who remembers Kiss Anime? Like, that takes me back, Kiss Anime. Um so yeah, I really fell in love with shows that use animation as a storytelling medium. And again, I always knew that I wanted to go into the creative field for a living. Those in high school, when I really hammered it down and said, you know what, I want to be an animator and I want to tell a story. And so now I can say, to an extent, I am living my dream. Of course, I still need to find a studio, find someone who will take me for a job. But like, I'm still working on my own original project, my own show. Not only that, but I've also been working on small animations on the side and like my animation exercises playlist. That's been fun and that's been nice. I mean, because since a young age, I've said, oh, I want to be an animator. Now I can actually call myself an animator. I went to college for animation. I've animated in my free time. I've tried and done my best to develop and grow my skills, especially with the software I've been given. Like, I don't have Blender, but I do believe that with Animate, I have been able to make some nice animations. I just need to get some more projects under my belt. I really think that that's the key to everything, and that can sort of help me grow, develop, get better, and do better. It's just getting more projects and getting more experience down my belt, because I do need to grow in my animation. I do need to get better with my sizing consistency. And yeah, I can say, oh, I'm just one person animating by myself, but even then, that still does matter. Like, if I had a team with me, of course my animations will be better, but I don't have a team with me. So I do need to grow. I do need to develop. I do need to get better. Excuse me while I drink some water. And at the same time, I do think that what I've gone through and my experiences has also fueled and affected the stories I want to tell. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't really know yet because I have yet to see this fully play out. But this entire world that I'm working on, this entire story that I want to tell, Witches 13, it's a story of revenge set in a utopia, set in essentially a perfect world where potential and hope are major themes. So I do think that the essence of the story I want to tell is there will always be a tomorrow. There will always be something that you can aspire to or want for yourself. I guess to an extent, this may be a swan song, not just to myself, but to anyone who is going through tribulation or who has gone through tribulation to get to where they are, that hey, things will get better. You will make your dream a reality. And whether you believe it or not, you're not alone. I guess I just want to tell people through this story that you are not alone and that there is hope. And people who are watching my stream who have tuned in this far, yeah, I may be an idealist, or this may even come off as like cringy or too anime, but I truly believe that anyone can make their dreams a reality. And you're gonna go through hardship. You're gonna want to quit. You're gonna fall into that mindset of, oh, nothing is gonna come from me. I should give up. Like, I've been through that. I've wanted to give up many times. There were many times where I thought that I'd aspire to nothing. I'd go nowhere. Like, I had to get like, for a while, I thought that I wasn't going to pass college. Like, when I got rejected from my concentration, I thought I wasn't going to pass college. Next thing I know, I get an email from an advisor telling me about this new major and how I can switch majors. Then, after I switched majors, it was like hope had came for me. And then after that, for like my final semester for my final project, I had to find find a mentor or find a professor that would sort of be my guide for my project. And I spent months trying to find anyone. Like, I had sent like posts on Facebook. I made an entire YouTube video trying to find a mentor, posted on Twitter and Instagram. Nobody came. And then I emailed one of my teachers, and my professor, I don't think I should say her name, but she's like this amazing professor, and she is the art education teacher. And she said, "Hey, I you told me the premise of your project. That sounds like an amazing project. Of course, I'll be your mentor, and I'll overlook your project for you." I completed that. I thought I had like a terrible GPA. Turns out, like my GPA was actually pretty good, and I forgot like the proper title, but like I got a title for my GPA. Um, my my diploma came in the mail like about a couple weeks to a month ago, and so now I'm just in this next stage of my life where I'm trying to find a job, and I've told my parents about it. Like I've talked to my dad about it, and he said that, "Hey, a job is gonna come. You have to be patient." And I don't know why, because I've always been patient growing up. I've always just had this blind faith where I knew something was going to come. But for some reason now, and I think it's because of, college debt that's weighing over my head, but for some reason now, I'm just afraid and I'm concerned. Like, what if I don't get a job? What if, like, the hold on my loan goes through and now I have to pay for my loan and I have no money to pay, and I've just been worried about that. But even deep down, even though there are times when I worry, I still do believe that something is going to come through for me. And I don't know what's going to happen with this project. Like, if this project will get views, if anybody will even like it. But I'm doing something that I love. I'm doing something that I enjoy. And even if I don't make a pilot or I don't make a show, this can still be another project I can put on my portfolio so that some would-be employer will would want to hire me after seeing me work and spend hours, months on this. Like, am I afraid? Yes, of course. I'm just going to be completely honest. I am afraid and I am concerned for my future. I don't think there's anyone who isn't afraid or concerned for their future, for the future in general. But I do have that feeling that something is going to come out of this. And I don't know what it is yet. I'm not far seeing. I don't know everything, but it is impossible to do so much work and to literally have nothing to show from it. So my skills in animation may grow from this. I may have a big project to add to my resume and my portfolio. Somebody may want to work with me after seeing this teaser. Someone may want me to in between for them. I don't know what's going to happen. But I do have hope, even though I'm scared, even though I'm worried, even though I don't know what's going to happen. I still have hope for this, which is kind of awesome. In all honesty, it is kind of awesome. Now I'm just rambling and talking to myself. I think I'm going to work on the sidewalk now. I want to save things like the plants for later, because what I'm definitely gonna have to do is have each of these plants that you see in the foreground. and even the bench appear on their own separate layers. I won't be able to cluster them or anything altogether. That was me dropping my phone. My bad. I'm just working on this sidewalk right here. Okay, I got 2 buildings done. I got the sidewalk and the road done. Um, the flying buildings and the flying islands, those are going to be in the farther background, and I don't really need to dedicate much detail to them. I think the next thing I work on is going to be, I want to say definitely this cluster of buildings over here. Um, Dang, I just realized that there's like this open space right here. And usually in like cities there's not many like wide open spaces, at least not on the scale and depth of this city right here. So I'm definitely gonna have to probably do what I'm gonna do with this section, this area right here, and sort of have like maybe two, like yeah, like maybe 1 or 2 buildings in this pocket right here that are just a static color, either black or like a really dark gray. But yeah, I have kept you guys for too long already. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I tried to go for a few extra minutes. I think I've hit maybe either the 40-minute or like the 45-minute mark. So yeah, that's really good. I mean, like the hour and 45-minute mark, not 45 minutes. This stream has been longer than 45 minutes. I've hit like a good hour, 45 minutes, 46 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoy. I stream every I stream every week on Tuesdays and Fridays around noontime. So I hope you guys be sure to stay tuned and enjoy. Also look forward to other animations, other small animation segments of animation I complete and do in my free time. I'm also working on sort of like a mascot or an image I can have in like the bottom right or bottom left corner that you guys can like look at while I am drawing and while I'm talking. That'll be done. It might not be done soon. It might take me like a day or two to complete, but it is coming. It may be ready for the next stream, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even if you want to. It's always a choice. It's never mandatory or necessary. Just your views are enough. But anyway, this has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. I'll see you guys in my next stream or video. Bye.